Hey, so here's another short video with regard to retirement. Um, and I bumped into it when I was doing, and it's very timely. It came out just this month in August of 2023. So I just want to share it because it jives with how I'm always, while there are great exceptions to be had, I'm so into the thought of, for many of us, um, delaying collecting Social Security retirement as long as we can, but never beyond the age of 70. So this particular website, it's called thinkadvisor.com, came out with an article called 10 Reasons to Claim Social Security at 70. It's by Lloyd Lofton. I think it's great. So I just wanted to, that's a little shout out, but I wanted to just go through the highlight points for those of you that haven't seen it. And I'm going to link it so you can read it. And I say this because I really hate to see, and I don't want to be one either, a person that's very indigent in our senior years, our retirement, right? We're not getting any younger. Our ability to save is often not as much as we would like it to be. So, pardon me. Um, let's go to it. We have the 62, and any year between then and 70, we can start collecting retirement. If we were not to start collecting at 70, it would not benefit us. It would probably hurt us because we can't wait too long after 70 and expect them to pay us all the way back to 70. So, okay, so here we go. They do talk about a few stats up front, including the fact that almost 50 million people in the US now receive Social Security retirement. That's a pretty big chunk. If we have 330 million people in this country, which I'm not so sure that's accurate these days, but they keep spewing it, right? 49 million, that's 50 million is a big chunk of that amount. It's a lot of retired people. And the benefits to Social Security, of course, are that it is regular income. It keeps pace with inflation, at least the inflation that they acknowledge in the COLA. And it's not subject to like market fluctuations, like if you were in the stock market or something like that. Anyway, so let's get to the 10 reasons that this writer provides, and they're really good. The obvious one, it's an increased monthly benefit. It's significantly greater than 67 or 62, which is, I think I had done the math at one point, and at age 70, if you start, it's like an 80% increase over if you had started at 62. I'm going to try to find that I think I have an article and a video on that, but where it actually shows some real numbers of an actual person. So yeah, the benefit difference is immense. And when we're 70 and older, presumably for most of us, we will not be working anymore. So that would, if we're relying on that income, that will be the higher amount that we will be able to rely on, as opposed to if we took at 62 and we're now living off of an age 62 amount. Yeesh, scares me. When I look at my 62 amount, it's scary. They talk about extra inflation protection and COLA. It says Social Security benefits are adjusted for inflation through cost of living adjustments or COLAs. That's true. I have to look into this one statement. By delaying benefits claiming, clients have a higher starting point, which means their future benefit increases due to COLAs will be more substantial. I think it's all relative. Don't hold me to it. But when we're not collecting, our PIA is still growing. So I'm not so sure about that one. But anyway, let's see. Financial stability. This is kind of what we touched on above. Yeah, I mean, you're going to be bringing in more money per month from Social Security retirement, period, end of story. And as the writer smartly points out, obviously that extra amount could cover a wider range of expenses, right? This one is really, really important because I do talk to people a lot about survivor benefits. better survivor benefits. This is totally true. If you wait till age 70, so if you wait past the age of 67 and you pass away, your surviving spouse is going to be able to take that added amount that you made it greater over 67, in those ensuing years to whatever it was at 70, if you wait to 70, or 69 to 68. But if you wait to 70, you're giving them that max amount. That's really important, because I know I have a video on this. A lot of people get confused and they think that when a spouse dies, they are going to be able to collect their survivor benefit from the deceased spouse while still collecting their own that they worked for. And that's false. False, false, false. But they can get the bigger of the two. And that's where that age 70 amount that your beloved one worked hard for can really help you when you're left with just one. You used to be living on two when you were together, right? Two incomes, practically living under one roof. So, but as soon as, and then we all get adjusted and we're used to that two income, and then one is gone. And it's really hard to pay those bills on what could be nearly half the income. So at least if that past spouse had worked till 70, at least they maxed out their amount that you as a surviving spouse can now get. It's a touchy situation, and it's very difficult for surviving spouses once the other half or nearly half of the income is gone. It's crushing. It's crushing. I can't even go into it anymore because it'll make me cry. But when we're not aware that we're going to be left with one, we haven't made decisions accordingly, whether it's downsizing or maybe moving in with an adult child, maybe to help that household while then living in a better place ourselves, because we might not be able to afford a nice place on our pretty low Social Security income. It's difficult. So the fifth one was a richer longevity protection. That sounds apropos. And he's going to the point of, if you think you're going to be having a pretty lengthy life expectancy, maybe you're very healthy, you have a family history of longevity. I know I have my maternal grandmother passed away at 98. My paternal grandmother died at 95. Those are pretty long. Now, the other half of those equations didn't live so long. I mean, as long. On my paternal side, it was very young, like 51 or 52. I've already outlived him. Never got to meet him. But on the maternal side, that grandparent did pass before, prematurely, I'd say. Certainly didn't make it to 80, but that was due to a vehicular accident. So not the same. But if you're, healthier people tend to want to make sure that they're, when they're old and unable to do diddly squat for themselves, that they have a better income. And for that reason, delaying can be a smart move. It's pointed out. Let's see. Maximize flexibility is number 6. Yeah, they talk about the flexibility of being able to choose between tapping into other retirement resources or continuing to work without being hit with that earnings limit. As you know, if you collect before age 67, that's the full retirement age, not the delayed age of 70, but 67, you are subject to an earnings limit. So you can't work that robust, massive, possibly full-time job you were doing before if you still want to collect those early retirement benefits. But if you're not collecting them and you're waiting and you're delaying, you can work as much as you want and earn as much as you want. This one's a good one. It's talking about tax efficiency. Delaying Social Security may help you reduce your taxable income during the early retirement years, because you're not collecting the Social Security on top of whatever other income you might have, which would pop you up potentially where you're going to be paying. I could tell you this, Social Security is taxed if your total combined income, and that's a specific definition under the laws, so you'd have to look under the SSA.gov site or the, maybe I'll do a video on that, or the IRS probably has it too. Yeah, if your Social Security will not be taxed if your total income is less than a certain amount, such as, let's say, uh, you're not at the top tier of Social Security um, benefits, you're some way much lower, you will probably not be taxed on that at all from the federal government anyway. Can't talk about everybody else because they all do their own thing, but federal government, it would not be taxed, assuming you have no other income that would be in that calculation of combined income. Once that goes over, then you are. So they're saying here, if you add your Social Security retirement to your other income, you might see it taxed. Whereas if you had waited, yeah, it still might be taxed later, but it's going to not only grow bigger, but also you're not going to have that extra taxation booted up to an extra bracket perhaps either. So that's a point well taken. Thank you. Expanded protection against healthcare costs. If you want, what does it say? If you wait to claim Social Security to increase the monthly benefits, true, that will help you cover acute healthcare costs or long-term costs later in life. I think that kind of goes up to the other point though, like you're just going to have more money, more monthly income, right? I mean, the unspoken elephant in the room is when you delay, you're not collecting it for a number of years. We actually diagram that out too. Like, how much are you giving up by not collecting now in order to collect the bigger amount later? I still favor delaying. That's why I love this article this writer put out. But there is a cost to be had. So I always think people should look at it and then make their decision if that's something that they can do. Just because I'm greedy for the money later. I want that security later, not so much now. Number 9, it said expanded investment opportunities. If you have other financial resources and can afford to delay your Social Security, you can continue growing your retirement savings through other investments and create a more secure financial future. I suppose that would be true because, again, like we said above, you're going to have more monthly income. But again, you're giving away a big piece now. A bigger financial legacy, an increase in clients' monthly benefit amount can help the clients be more generous in estate planning. That's true if you're not spending it, right? So again, that would probably be if you're not, I think this is where they're going. If you're not living on it when you're 70, because you have all this other stuff, you can just keep collecting that bigger amount and make a big nest egg for those who want to leave it to. So, and that is a point well taken. And we made it in the other video too, because let's say you don't have anything to leave maybe your children and you want to, or your grandchildren, but you don't need to spend all of that Social Security because now you have a bigger amount. You could now maybe sock some away and leave that legacy. Legacy is a really big deal to me. Just something, it's a big deal to me with my kids. They're minors now, but soon they won't be. And I just think it would be a really nice thing to do. Those of us that haven't had that legacy for us, I think we might really want to see it happen for our children from us. So anyway, that's a point well taken too. Anyway, that is number 10. He does go on to say, on the other hands, mentioning that there are some valid reasons to looks like to claim before 70. Of course, we've talked about those, why some people, and it'll be in that other video. I'll just put it in the playlist and you can look at the playlist. But again, driving home the point, delaying, if you can, comes with some great benefits. And some more security, I think, that's my big drive, because I just want security. I want to be comfortable. I'm not a 3-car garage person. I want to be clean, comfortable, and safe, and be able to have a nice lifestyle doing the things I like to do, none of which are high maintenance. So I think delaying could do that for me. So maybe it could do it for you too. Anyway, that's delaying retirement to age 70. give it a thought. Bye now.